The Last Dragon, Pyrravel and Sirena. Long ago, in a forgotten kingdom, the last dragon lived in silence, cursed to watch everyone he loved fade away. But one day, an ancient song echoed through the mountains, awakening a curse and a forbidden love. Prepare to witness the legend of Pyrravel and Sirena, a tale where passion defies fire, where love dares to fight destiny, and where every kiss could be the last. Long ago, in a forgotten kingdom, the last dragon lived in silence, cursed to watch everyone he loved fade away. But one day, an ancient song echoed through the mountains, awakening a curse and a forbidden love. Prepare to witness the legend of Pyrravel and Sirena, a tale where passion defies fire, where love dares to fight destiny, and where every kiss could be the last. Long ago, in a distant kingdom called Valiora, there lived a being both man and beast, known as Draknor Drakensis. He was the last descendant of the fire dragons. In his human form, he bore the bearing of a fallen king. But when his blood stirred, his skin turned to black onyx scales, his wings spread like storms, and his eyes burned like twin suns. For centuries, the law of dragons was unbreakable. Only sons could inherit the sacred flame. Draknor, weary of loneliness, decided it was time to father an heir. One night, under a blood-red moon that set the horizon ablaze, he took flight from the cliff of Cormael. Skimming through clouds, he spotted a young woman in a flowered clearing, gathering silver lily petals. Her name was Victoria Lornelis, daughter of a coastal lord. Without a word, Draknor swooped down, tore through the wind, and seized Victoria in his claws. His roar echoed through the mountains as the dragon vanished, carrying his captive to the forgotten island of Noctvarn. Noctvarn was a wild isle, surrounded by jagged cliffs sharp as blades. Winds howled at night, and waves crashed against the rocks with a deep rumble. Draknor was the only soul living there, in a vast cavern called the Sanctuary of Ashes. There he placed Victoria. Days passed. At first she barely spoke, her gaze full of defiance. But little by little she saw that beneath the beast's exterior hid invisible wounds. They shared meals by the fire, stories stolen beneath the moonlight. Then one night, under the stars, their hands brushed, and a forbidden bond was woven. 3 weeks later, Victoria knew she carried Draknor's child, but she was unaware of the terrible truth. For a dragon to be born, the mother must be consumed by flames, and all living around reduced to ashes. The day arrived. The sky darkened with heavy clouds, the air crackled with electricity. Draknor, heart in pieces, took his dragon form. His eyes, drowned in unseen tears, looked one last time at Victoria. "Forgive me!" A torrent of fire burst from his jaws. Victoria screamed, her body ignited, but her eyes stayed fixed on Draknor until the final moment. In the blaze, the dragon tore open her womb with his claws, and a new roar filled the air. Pyrravel was born. A small black dragon with golden eyes, he cried out for the first time as the flames of his birth died away. Years passed. Draknor raised Pyrravel on Noctvarn, teaching him to hunt, the language of the ancient dragons and the respect of fire. When Pyrravel reached 10, Draknor deemed it time. "Tomorrow, son, we begin your training. You will learn to become what you are meant to be." "Yes, father." The next day, they climbed Mount Drakensis. At the summit, Draknor pushed Pyrravel into the void to awaken fear and trigger transformation. But the boy fell like any mortal, and Draknor had to transform to catch him. The days after, he repeated the trial, still in vain. One evening, a dragon hunter, Kael Vorn, arrived on the island aboard a small ship called the Shadow Slipper. Taking advantage of the night, he climbed the cliffs. Draknor, in human form, saw him too late. A runic steel sword pierced his back. Pyrravel, witness to the scene, screamed in pain. Rage surged through his veins. Without thinking, he leapt from the cliff, and this time he transformed. His wings spread wide. His mouth unleashed a torrent of fire upon the hunter. But Kael fled, leaving Pyrravel alone with his father's lifeless body. From that day on, Pyrravel chose to hide. Whenever the dragon's fire rose within him, he slipped between two massive rocks in the Gulf of Chains, restraining himself from becoming what his blood demanded. 15 years later, in the kingdom of Velmor, a royal wedding filled the streets with light and song. The bride, Sirena Arvenis, slid a small boat decorated with scarlet ribbons across the lake of Elenmore. The ancient dragon song rose in the air. In the mountains where fire sleeps, a heart beats slowly beneath the skies. Far away on Noctvarn, Pyrravel heard the ancestral call. He had no time to hide. His body covered in scales, his wings unfolded. Guided by the melody, he soared toward Velmor. The setting sun blazed across the horizon, casting gold and crimson streaks over the calm lake. On a small boat, Sirena, dressed in a flowing white gown that danced with the breeze, sailed gently forward, unaware that destiny was about to strike. The ancient dragon song rose into the air, its haunting notes gliding over the water like a spell. Suddenly, a massive shadow tore through the clouds. The wind howled fiercely. The waves leapt and roared. A roar split the sky. The guests on the shore lifted their eyes and saw Pyrravel. His enormous wings blotted out the fading light, his dark crimson scales shimmering with flickers of fire. He dove at lightning speed. Claws outstretched, he skimmed the water's surface and with a precise motion snatched Sirena as if plucking a precious jewel from its case. She let out a cry that vanished into the wind. Musicians fell silent. Voices froze in shock. Without a backward glance, Pyrravel beat his mighty wings, each powerful stroke stirring a chilling gust. Water splashed onto the shore. The boat capsized. Sirena vanished into the skies, captive in the claws of the last dragon. Only the steady beating of wings echoed into the distance, fading toward the forbidden island where no man had ever returned. He placed her in the sanctuary of Ash's cavern. Returning to human form, he approached cautiously. "You have nothing to fear?" Days passed. He tended her wounds with rare herbs, shared his meals, and told her stories of lost dragons. Sirena saw in his golden eyes an immense loneliness. But one afternoon, Pyrravel lost control and transformed. Terrified, Sirena fled into the jungle, reached a cliff, and slipped. Pyrravel plunged after her, catching her, but was wounded. Despite fear, she stayed near him, applying remedies, sleeping beside him on the cold beach. Under the starry nights, their destinies sealed. Forbidden love took root, and one night they united. At dawn, Pyrravel revealed the truth. "If we stay together, the day we have a child, I will be forced to burn you. It is the law of my blood." Tears in his eyes, he placed her in a boat and showed her the way to Velmore. Sirena returned to her life, but her heart remained on the island. On her wedding day, she changed the words of the dragon song. On Noctvarn, Pyrravel, consumed by loneliness, contemplated throwing himself off Cormail, but at the last moment he took flight toward Sirena. He landed before her human once more. Without a word, she ran into his arms. They fled together and Sirena became pregnant. This time, Pyrravel vowed he would break the curse, or die trying. Together they prepared to face fate, so the dragon heir could be born without fire consuming the woman he loved.